back to Kaplan's Career Goals. I'm your host, Kelsey Haslam, and today our guest is an award-winning financial director, Becky Glover. So, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So, you have won a lot of awards, especially recently.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through them all?
Yes. So last year I won top 50 women in accounting, and that's globally. I also won finance director of the year, and I also won social media of the year. That was all last year. So it was a busy year.
How do you keep track of them all?
Well, they're nicely lined up on my kitchen mantelpiece. So every time I walk past, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like I did that, I won that. And people kind of mention it, like, as you have, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
You still can't believe it.
Yeah.
Is it one of them where when you started your career in finance, did you expect to be as successful as you are today?
I didn't really think it through, to be honest. Like, I left school at 17, so I didn't even finish my A-levels. So at that point in time, I really just wanted to get out of school, and I didn't care what I was going to be. It was just, I just don't want to do this right now. Yeah. So I was quite fortunate that my father was a accountant as well. So he kind of knew that route. And at the time, apprenticeships weren't really a big thing. But I knew that that's the way I had to go into it. But it was pure accident, really, that a job opened up local to me that were taking people with sort of zero experience, and the rest kind of just followed, really.
Love that. So you started the apprenticeship mainly because you knew about your apprenticeship mainly because your dad knew that route. With the social media award, is that something that you're trying to change now, like raise awareness of how to get into that?
Definitely. So when I left school, it was very much the case that you had to do sixth form, you had to go to university, you had to pick your sort of career trajectory, and that was it. You stuck to it, and that was your path, and you moved up in your company, and that was that. So when I came out, even before finishing my A-levels, it was quite daunting because a lot of job ads said must be a graduate or must have a minimum of A-levels or that sort of stuff, and I didn't have any of that, but I did have a lot of hard work. So yeah, it was something that I really had to ask for. There weren't people going, oh, here's an apprenticeship. So I had to kind of open those doors for myself. And now I think it's better. I think apprenticeships are talked about a lot more. So people know that that's an option, and actually you can, you know, work and learn and do your exams all at the same time. And you don't obviously have then the student debt as well behind you. So
no, exactly, like you're earning instead of spending.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's really good though. I bet it's nice to kind of look back, and although it's not ideal that you're opening the doors for yourself and that you have to go out of your way to find that information, but I bet it's nice to look back and know that you've done it yourself.
Yeah. And I look back and I think, like, God, that was really hard. You know, I had to write letters to people. I had to, you know, ask for it myself. It was never just, oh, what about an apprenticeship? Would that work for you? But I think that kind of determination has then stuck with me throughout my career, and that has opened a lot of other doors for me as well.
Amazing. So, talk me through, you started your apprenticeship and then you became a financial director, is that at 29?
At 29, yeah.
So what was that journey?
So I left school 17 and then joined a local law firm, and the job title was like trainee accounts assistant or something, but the reality of it was that I made tea and coffee, I did a lot of photocopying, I did the post, you know, all those kind of boring jobs that no one else wanted to do. So I moved from there because they weren't unfortunately going to offer any training for me, like formal training. And when I moved, I had that, you know, well, people want you to have a degree or they want you to have a certain amount of A-levels. So I had to just write letters to every single accountancy practice in my area, basically just saying, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, please can you help? And I wrote loads and loads of letters, and I think I got like 2 people come back. But luckily one of those people were like, go on then, we'll give you a go, see if your hard work actually is in you. So I had to do night school for a little bit for my AAT to prove myself, and then they let me have day release. So yeah, I did my AAT, and then I moved to a bigger firm and was doing audit and sort of bigger company stuff, and then I did my ACCA with them. And then as soon as I qualified, I moved out of practice into industry because I knew that was what I wanted to do. Yeah. So I went and worked for a listed company, and they were in the biotech industry. So I was there for a little while and then went and did something a little bit different. So software technology, and it was a startup. So going from listed to startup was extremely different. Yeah. And I was the number one in finance, but I was the only one in finance. So literally everything was now my job. There was no right or wrong way of doing it because it hadn't been done before, and they kind of just brought me in, showed me my desk and said, "We'll let you get on now then." And I was like, "What do you mean?" No.
So we've got to jump in and play a game of word association.
Oh my God.
So I'll just read out a few words. You just tell me what comes to mind and we'll work down the list.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
So studying.
Hard work.
Exams.
Panic.
Finance.
Opportunity.
Panic.
Common for exams.
Career.
Goals.
Education.
Is key.
Money.
It's very important.
Music.
Fred again.
Data.
Vital.
Kaplan.
Education.
Study.
Hard work.
Amazing. So education is key. I like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you technically stayed in education because you was working.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you say education is key, but then you left full-time education.
Yeah.
So what is education to you?
Yeah, so for me, I left at 17 because I couldn't figure out how what I was learning was going to translate into a career and ultimately earning money, buying a house, going on holidays, buying a car, all of that sort of basic stuff. I just couldn't figure it out. So my A-levels were in business studies, psychology, geography and biology. So I did 4 and I was just thinking I just don't get how that's going to get me a job. Like I just couldn't piece the two together. So I do think education is key, and it doesn't just stop with AAT or ACCA or CIMA or whatever people are doing. It's continuous. So I'm still learning every single day, and you should want to learn, because I think as soon as you go, I know it all, I'm comfortable, I've got this, that's when other people who are continuously learning start taking over and you start going backwards in your career.
Yeah, and I think, would you say that that's, obviously it's important anyway, but would you think that that's really relevant in today's world with tech?
Yeah, 100%. Because where we are now with AI, automation, data, as you said earlier, it's key. And the problem is, because it's so new and it's moving so fast, if people don't jump on it and go, right, I'm going to learn how to do this, even just a little area of it, then technology is going to go faster and faster and faster. This is the slowest technology will ever be. So if we don't jump on that technology train now, it's going to be really hard to get on it later. And yeah, if you don't learn how to do the technology, someone else doing the same job as you right now will, and then they'll take over and be in a better place in their career.
Yeah, and like for people who are studying, say people who are in finance studying, would you say that it's difficult to get upskilled in AI?
I think it depends what your mindset is. If your mindset is, my manager's going to tell me what course to go on, I'm going to go on the course and then I'm going to be okay, that's going to be really tricky. But if your mindset is just really curious and open, and you like listening to podcasts or you like reading articles, whatever it might be, then you'll be fine, because naturally you'll just keep up with it. But you have to go out and find that information for yourself. It's not going to work if you wait to be put on that training course.
Yeah. And would you say, from your experience, is the traditional accountant, pen to paper, would you say that's extinct now?
Yeah, I think it's getting there, certainly. Now accountancy is all about using technology to do the basic, boring sort of tasks, and then having the accountant be the person that brings those numbers to life, so they can take the data and go, right, what does this mean? Why is it important? And why is it important to lots of different departments? So it's not just finance in finance's little box, churning out historical numbers. It is, okay, this is what we know from the data. What does that mean? Where are we going? Could we pull this little lever and go somewhere else? Or maybe we can help marketing do their next campaign with their data, or whatever it is. But yeah, it's more forward looking now.
Do you travel a lot for work?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're traveling to work.
Yeah.
And just tell me, with no limitations, how are you getting there? Who are you with? What are you listening to?
Yeah.
What snacks you're having?
Okay.
And where do you want your dream destination to be? But work.
For me, what makes my job really interesting is going to lots of different places. So maybe I'll be local, maybe I'll be at home, maybe I'll be London, maybe I'll be Manchester. That's really interesting to me. But how I get there, I've got this like running joke with people that know me, and I always say I want to commute by helicopter. Like that's what I want to do, and so it's like this running joke of like, you know, you might win an award or you might get a promotion or whatever it is, but I don't have the helicopter for work yet, do you? So yeah, that would be my dream commute, would be helicopter. I don't care where I'm going, just as long as I can fly there in my helicopter. That can pick me up from my garden.
Yeah.
Snacks, I think it would have to be Cadbury's chocolate because it's a classic.
Yeah.
Who would I go with? I'm really fortunate. I've got my boyfriend is also in finance.
Really?
So yeah, we share like a lot of ideas and bounce things off each other, which is really, really useful. So I'd definitely go with him. And then I've got a really great group of girls that are also in finance as well. So I bring them along for the ride too, because they've all heard about my helicopter dream. So I feel like they have to come on. So yeah, music, probably some Beyonce, because like you're gonna have a good day if you commute in a helicopter with your best people with some Beyonce.
Because you said you studied AAT first and then ACCA,
yes,
is it?
Yeah.
Why did you choose ACCA over qualifications?
So when I was in practice, I was sort of making my decision. So there was really only two. It was either ACCA or ACCA. And I was always told, and I don't know if it's still the same, but ACCA is for those people that want to stay in practice. ACCA are for those that want to go off into industry. So for me, it was just an easy decision, but it was a little bit awkward because everyone kind of knew that that was the rule. So when I was in practice going, I would really like to do ACCA actually.
And it's just like you in your job.
Yeah. They're like, okay, you want to leave.
Are you happy that you did that qualification? Has it opened a lot of doors for you?
Definitely, and I'm really involved in the ACCA community as well. So I've met some really great people. They're really good at championing you and saying like, why don't you apply for this award, or why don't you go on this podcast, or whatever it is. They're really good at sort of raising you up as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people don't use. They kind of pay their membership and they maybe get the magazine, they do their CPD, and they think that's all it's useful for. But it's a really, really critical sort of community, again, of people that might be going through the same thing as you. So yeah, definitely use it.
Would you say, just based on your experience, because you do your social media, you said like podcasts, stuff like that, would you say like accounting and finance is a creative industry to go into?
Oh, that's a great question, because actually you think accounting and finance is very technical, maybe some people would even say boring, and you don't necessarily think creativity, but it's really creative, especially when you want to get a message out there, or even just in your role. As I said previously, you have to tell a story with the numbers you're given, so you need to create graphs and graphics and whatever it might be, presentations, to people that don't understand finance. You need to make it look really good, really snappy. So yeah, I think it is quite creative actually.
Yeah, there is that stereotype that it's just you sat behind a screen, you number crunching all day.
Yeah.
You have to be really, really good at maths.
Yes.
That's that.
I hate that. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be really good at maths. It's like, I have a calculator. Like, at what point do I need to be good at maths? Like, yeah, obviously you need to have some sort of base level, but you know, when the bill comes in the restaurant and everyone's like, oh, what's this divided by this? Go. And you're like, I'm not a human calculator.
That's a really good point. Like, do people just assume that you just know your stuff?
And like quickly as well. And you're like, oh, I'm sat here relaxing too, guys. Like, I've had a glass of wine, like, chill.
So, when it did come to studying, how was you when it came to exams?
Oh, I hated exams. I didn't find studying easy whatsoever. Like, I really, really had to put in the hard graft and the hours of just sitting there and doing practice papers and practice questions. It definitely didn't come easy to me. And I did fail an exam because I just didn't put in the work, and that kind of proved to me that, yep, no, I'm going to have to put in the work. Yeah. So yeah, it's not easy, but it's not meant to be easy either. And the people, there's always someone that says, oh yeah, I just did like 20 minutes and I passed. And you're like, what? I did like 200 hours practicing for this exam. But yeah, it's not meant to be easy. And those people that say it's easy are lying.
And when you failed, how did you overcome that?
I think deep down, I knew that I hadn't put in enough effort. So I was super busy at work. I probably just lost my focus a little bit. And I found it a little bit tricky anyway, which probably didn't help for me to sit down and actually get on with it. But yeah, I just had to put in the hard graft the next time, and I passed it next time. So yeah, hard work. It pays. You're
clearly a really busy person. I'm assuming you're a really busy person. Yeah. You've got all this going on. Finance is your life as well. Like, I'll give circle finance. So how do you avoid burnout and take care of your mental well-being? Yeah,
so it's really important actually to have those finance people around me, because they're also really busy. So we understand like the bad days, because we all have bad days where you just want to stay in bed and you just think, oh, I just can't be bothered anymore. But we all push each other on. So having a really good group of people around you that can say, do you think you're doing a little bit too much? Do you think maybe you need to have a nice long lunch, or whatever it is? But for me personally, it's all about getting outside. So nature is really sort of healing and relaxing for me. So whenever I've got a long day, I make sure that in the morning I get outside and just, even if it's like having a cup of coffee outside, I'm still going outside to do it, to get the sunlight, just to hear the birds, whatever it is, like that is what's key. But yeah, I work pretty much every day, even on weekends. But I think if you love it, I know it sounds really cliche, but if you love it, it doesn't feel like work. So then you're probably less likely to get burnout. You need to have that purpose and that North Star that you're heading to. And then it's just a bit more fun.
Love that. So we're going to play a game, another game.
Okay, yep.
Rank these. Okay. So I'm just going to give you 3 choices. Yeah. And just rank them 1, 2, 3. Okay. So apprenticeships, uni or online study, 1, 2, 3.
Apprenticeships, online study, uni.
Okay, why is that?
Apprenticeships are really important. Like, I know I'm biased, but I think to learn and earn at the same time is really great. And from an employer's point of view as well, to have someone come in and say, I'm really keen to learn, it just shows what kind of person they are. Yeah. So I would always put apprenticeships at the top.
And time, money, and knowledge?
Okay, time, definitely number 1. Then knowledge, then money. So something that I sort of heard really early on in my career is a lot of people chase the money in their career and in their promotions. But actually, if you chase knowledge and experience and learning, then the money chases you. It's much, much easier way round to do things. So yeah, never chase the money, only chase the experience.
That's really good advice, definitely. That's good. TV shows, podcasts, books.
Ooh, I'm a massive podcast fan.
Yeah.
I get through loads, especially traveling and things. I just get through so many podcasts, also audiobooks, kind of podcasty, isn't it? And then, maybe books, then TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, and the TV I do watch is pure trash.
Like reality TV.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. The cringier, the better. That's my escape for my brain. And everyone's like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "Well, obviously, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's very important to my life."
Being led, taking the lead, or collaboration?
So collaboration, then taking the lead, and then being led. Because I don't think you can do anything on your own. Like, there's just no way that you can get to an amazing place in your career or anything really, but without a great support system. So that would definitely be my number one.
What would your tips be for someone wanting to progress their career, especially considering you progressed, I'm not sure if you would see it as this, but you progressed pretty quick compared to a lot of people. What's your advice?
So from leaving school to finance director, it was 12 years, which looking back on it, that does feel like it's quite quick. But at the time, it does not feel quick at all. I think you have to be really aware of where you're going. So even when I was doing AAT, I was like, I want to get to the top job in finance. Like, that's what I want. I wasn't quite brave enough to tell people that at the time. And something that I wish I had done is made that really clear. I thought at the time people would go like, oof, what, you? Top job in finance? No, don't worry about that. But as I've sort of moved through my career, I understand that if you're honest about where you're going, people can help you get there. And if they don't think like, I'm going to help them get to that position, that's absolutely fine, but you just don't want to work with them. And actually, the faster you weed those people out of, they're not very helpful, they're kind of pushing me down to get themselves up, the faster you realise who those people are, the better it is for your career. So always say, I want to be finance director, or I want to be CEO, or like whatever you want to be, say it to the people around you, because then they can put you in the positions and the opportunities to get the experience you need. And if they don't, then that's absolutely fine. You can just go somewhere else and do it there.
Yeah. One thing that I really value in an employer is that development. Like, they say you've appraisals and stuff, and they say, where do you want to go? Yeah. You should feel comfortable saying, this is the aim. Yeah. And then they can support you with that. Yeah. So that's good advice, it's how you decide whether a workplace isn't for you or whether people aren't for you.
Yeah, exactly. And you spend so much time at work. I think it's right that you should understand what they want from you and the other way around, because it has to work for everyone involved.
Yeah, and that's probably what's good about apprenticeships as well, because you're there to learn. Yeah. So that's where you've got that safety net to be like, I'm going to shoot this high. And you can fall if exactly.
If you have to. Like, you should have the helicopter goal, because maybe you just have a driver. But that's okay too, That's a good backup plan, solid backup plan.
I know, that is a good point. Sam, what's your greatest achievement so far?
Finance Director of the Year award was huge for me, and I still look at it and think, did that really happen? Like, just, it feels so massive. Yeah. And I didn't, up until like 2 days before, I wasn't even going to go to the awards show because there were train strikes, and I just was really tired from work, and I just couldn't really bring myself to get the energy together to go. But everyone was like, no, just get a cab, it'll be great, and you should definitely be there. So I think, that has sort of solidified the fact that you have to go to everything that you sort of set yourself up for, because that's where the good stuff happens. But Finance Director of the Year would be sort of up there for me.
Yeah, and is it one of them things where you you look back and you think, I didn't know this could happen?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you think, well, I'm just doing my job like day to day. This is all I do. This is just me. going to work, or, you know, so to be recognised for something that you're like, well, I'm going to always do that, you know, is really, really nice.
What do you think made you win that award?
So at the time, I was just like, well, I'm just doing my job. I'm not going above and beyond, or, you know, I'm just doing the norm. But actually looking back on it and seeing the judges' comments and seeing sort of nomination comments, it does make me look at what I do in a different light. I think when you're in it, you're just sort of so busy doing your job, it doesn't feel like anything special. But I do come into companies, I put in loads of tech, automation, I make sure that it's running in the best possible way, but then I translate that to every area of the business. So I'm not really just finance, I really want to be business as a whole, and I really care about creating a great place to work for people. And technology does that because it takes away the boring tasks that no one wants to do, and it gives them more of a purpose. So I'm all about putting technology in, motivating the people that are there, and then looking at the whole business and saying, how can this be better for the people that work here, but ultimately more valuable for the people that own it, because that's what we're trying to do, is create an amazing place to work.
Thank you for joining us. Have you had a good time?
I've had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for making me feel so welcome.
No, it's absolutely fine. So before we let you go, we ask one last question.
Okay.
And that's, what does career goals mean to you?
Ooh, career goals for me is having that North Star that you are driving towards, moving stuff out of the way to get there, and being sort of fearless in your aim to get there and telling everyone that you're going to get there.
Love that. I think, like, for people watching, I think that you are really inspirational. I think that all of your advice is just spot on for anyone, despite whether they're looking to change career, to study, progress, whatever. Like, you've nailed it. So well done to you. So thanks for watching, and if you'd like to find out more about how to get started in your career in finance, head over to our website at kaplan.co.uk, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you again soon.